Are you sticking with the Saints to win this division at this point?
I'm not going against it. When I look at the next 4 games, you got the Giants. You got the Rams on a short week on Thursday night. Some of those players that are injured will be coming back, including my nephew, hopefully. They go to the Bucs, they end up with the Falcons. And when I look at the Buccaneers, they got the Panthers. They got the Packers, the Jags, and the Saints. That's a little harder. A little harder stretch.
The second 2 at home, but
And when I look at the Falcons, they got an easier kind of, to me, the Panthers, the Colts, the Bears. Then they go to the Saints. The last 2 are on the road. So I think the Saints have the easier path looking at their schedule, the remaining portion of the schedule. So, yeah, I'm still picking them.
Okay.
I am.
And I look at it, and the Saints, I look at this and I say, just think about if a team had to go play the Saints in the playoffs. Going to the Saints is hard. That's a hard place to play. I think it's the most difficult place in the whole NFL to play. But I can handle those players. I even think about the other side, Tampa, going to Tampa, you feel comfortable with that. And those older guys, they're still trying to hold on to the glory of that Super Bowl. You can handle those players. Going to Atlanta, those young dudes in Atlanta is a whole different group. Those other groups, Atlanta, Saints and Tampa, a little older. But Atlanta is a young football team that's very talented and right now learning how to win. Don't know what they should know. That's what makes them scary. And can do it any kind of way. You got a great running back in B. John, right?
He is.
So great young talent on that football team. And Drake London and, of course, about the Kyle Pitts. They got great young talent on that football team. It's scary. It's scary. You back up in Atlanta in the wrong way. They win the South. You got to go in and play Atlanta. That would be a scary proposition because they don't know what they don't. They don't know they shouldn't even be here yet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They don't know that they shouldn't be here.
Do they have a quarterback?
And they don't. I don't know if they have the quarterback of the future that they're going to move. But this kid can.
They only got the problem with them. No, they got
put the ball in the air now.
The problem with that though, they play one team at home in the next 4, and that's the Colts. And the Colts are in the thick of things for their division.
And they just lost a home game to the Bucs.
To the Bucs, but they beat the Bucs earlier by 3 points. It's a tighter game. It's a tighter game than the one they just lost. But they beat them earlier.
All right. I'm a big Baker fan, and it's not because he played at the school I grew up rooting for, Oklahoma. I just like the way he carries himself. I like his fire. It's the old baseball term. He's like a pepper pot, like he's just a lot of fire, a lot of playmaking. He has been very clutch late in games. If you let him hang in the games like Atlanta did, and Atlanta self-destructed in some ways, Baker made a couple of big late throws at Atlanta that pulled the game out. Yet, I can't defend what has happened to Baker as he fell apart at Cleveland and then fell apart at Carolina. And you can make a strong case, this is the last stop. This is the last. If they fall on their face mask, if they self-destruct down this stretch and they don't make it, I don't know what's going to happen to him because Tampa may want to go in a different direction. They want to draft somebody. They may want to just start fresh. They gave Baker the shot to replace Tom Brady, and Baker's played okay. He's had his moments. He's not had his moments. Sometimes he and Mike Evans are on the same page. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes he's clicking with Chris Godwin, and sometimes, almost inexplicably, he's not. This is it for Baker Mayfield, and it starts. It's an early game. It's the 1 o'clock game at Green Bay. The weather there is supposed to be pretty nice, like around 40 degrees, but no precipitation. So for this time of year, it's pretty decent football weather. So Baker's got to go up there against a team that just blew a game to the Giants they should not have blown. And we're going to have Lil Wayne on talking about his Green Bay Packers, but it's got to start now for Baker. And I'm going to pick them, but I'm picking with my heart on this one because you make a strong case. The most solid veteran football team is that one, obviously. They know how to do this. This team doesn't know how to do it, but it's the most talented young team by far, by far. Like, even on defense, they lost a couple of guys to injuries, but they're off the charts in young talent because they've been so bad they just keep
The problem with the
drafting.
Bucks, though, Skip, is they go on the road, then they come right back and play Jacksonville.
They do.
See, Jacksonville, that's the problem, because Jacksonville's a good football team trying to win their division and stay right in the hunt. Then they got the Saints.
Then they, at home, at Tampa, but still.
You know.
Yeah, and by the way, Tom Brady had no luck against the Saints. They pretty much dominated Tom, except in a playoff game at New Orleans on the way to the Super Bowl.
And Baker went into New Orleans early in the year and played pretty good football.
Played pretty good. He's played pretty good football the whole year. Their defense is getting older, although Winfield is just like, he's first team All-Pro to me. He's the star of the defense. But they don't have much pass rush. All the stalwarts are starting to get beat up and get older. I just don't know. And if it's going to be debatable whether Baker makes it or Todd Bowles makes it to next year in Tampa. Both of them are kind of on their
last leg, so to speak.
Yeah, they're joined at the hip right now on the hot seat. But the point is, I'm going to go with the Bucks. You're going with you still like Atlanta?
I still like Atlanta. I recall our early days, you know, when everybody was saying, I'm in a year away or 2 years away. And I remember being in that locker room thinking about, man, they don't know how good we are. And because as a group, you know you're talented, and they're going to grow. And their connections will be better than the connections of these teams. I remember also being on that older team, and we were bringing people in, and we were saying, come on, man, let's go. I couldn't get them older guys to buy in to the we 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. Get on our wagon. Those older guys wouldn't buy in, but those young guys will. I like what I said.
But see, Atlanta's problem, though, the last 3 games, though, Mike, they got to go to Chicago, which is freezing cold. Obviously, right? They play
that's a dome team. That's a dome team going to the cold. You're right.
But Atlanta's schedule is ranked the easiest, Keyshawn. It's
I don't know why.
30th.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
I don't know why, because if you go on the road against Chicago, that's going to be tough with that weather. As Michael would say, a dome team, as if the Cowboys are not. But okay. But then you got the Saints on the road.
You do. Michael Irvin, the difference in 1992 was, what did Jerry Jones do for you in August of that camp year?
Oh, we got Charles Haley.
You went and got Charles Haley. Okay, so he wasn't a young dude at that point. He was established as a superstar.
Right. And that's as we were going into Super Bowl. Now, those early years, we're going into Chicago. I just remember, I remember one of those early years, I led the league in receiving, and Emmett led in rushing, and him driving home, saying, hey, man, we did. I said, man, we ain't do nothing yet, man. We got to do it again next year, man. We got to take it far. Like, I can imagine them dudes doing that now. And when you get on the field under that pretense, when we're young dudes, we're trying to prove ourselves in this league, you have a greater bond than a bunch of old guys who are trying to keep it together.
Okay.
And that's why I say I go with Atlanta, because that's a greater bond that'll be on the football field as they go down the road.
The other point of order is, you had Troy and they have Desmond Ritter.
That's the kicker right there.
All right.
That's the kicker right there.
And right now they don't have their first string.
But they got a nice running back. They got some players, boy. If they get... And Ritter threw a lot of yards now.
No, he's been okay, but
a lot of yards,
up and down. He was not good against
making
Tampa
it play
Bay.
when it counts, that's the one.
Yeah.
Y'all played a dome. It's not a dome team, dog. We're not a dome.
Well, we had the roof open in September.
Right.
You're a dome team.
Okay, we got to talk a little college up next, because this one caught my eye and made me chuckle. Nick Saban hires a former Jim Harbaugh assistant. Love it.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.